Hi, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your May 2023 mid-month general reading. So we're looking at the last half of May, and this reading is for our lovely twins, the air sign of Gemini. I hope everyone's doing well. Thanks so much for being here, for watching these videos, liking, sharing, subscribing, recommending, and referring. I'm always grateful for it. I always like to say so. Thank you very much. So Gemini, this is for you if your sun, moon, rising, or Venus sign is in Gemini. If you're cross-watching for a Gemini, it is also relevant. It's a general reading, so of course it'll resonate a little differently for everyone. If you know your sun, moon, rising, and Venus signs, watch those videos as well for additional insight and perspective. And if you find that something really does resonate with you and you'd like to take a deeper look at it, or you resonate with the reading style, and you would be interested in reaching out for a personal reading or information about that for yourself or as a gift for someone else, please feel free to email me directly at maggie1mcguire@gmail.com. You can also get that contact information by clicking the description link or the title of this video. I would love to hear from you. I do offer quite a wide variety of readings in all areas of life, and I can usually provide you with that information within the same day or within the first 24 hours of you reaching out. And scheduling readings is done. Scheduling the actual reading is done in a fairly timely fashion too. So if that's something you're interested in, please reach out, email me. Okay, Gemini, let's see what the last half of May looks like for you. I'm using the Tarot of Dreams and clarifying with the Radiant Rider-Waite. So, we begin with the Six of Swords, healing, slowly but surely moving away from something which has been causing stress, pain, difficulty, challenge. The waters behind the boat would be choppy and turbulent, but as you can see, the person is moving into a better place, calmer, peaceful, more harmonious and placid waters. They're still in motion. You're not quite to the other shore and on solid ground yet, but headed in the right direction. That's the Six of Swords. It is a card of healing. And sometimes, healing has its ups and downs too, particularly in the first part of healing, right? You have good days, you have bad days. But overall, you're leaving the worst behind you step by step. With that, we have the Knight of Cups. Knights represent offers and opportunities for change. The Knight of Cups is the Knight of Water and emotion, so it might be a love offer, a love and romance offer, a romantic love offer, or simply an offer or opportunity for healing that is driven by love, support, and encouragement. Next we have the Three of Wands, the Three of Fire. Now, the Three of Wands, the suit of wands is governed by the element of fire, which is typically action-oriented and always in motion and forward-looking and forward-moving. And most of the cards in the suit of wands are kind of geared with that ideology, movement and motion and forward and passion and enthusiasm and excitement. The Three of Wands is a more patient, gestative card, though, out of all the cards in that suit. The Three of Wands represents somebody who's put in some of the work, some of the footwork. They're starting to see some of their efforts paying off, but they're just kind of patiently waiting for that ship to come in, and they're feeling hopeful and positive and optimistic about the future of what that might be. With the Ten of Coins. So feeling perhaps positive, hopeful, optimistic about long-term security and stability in your future. Long-term security and stability means not having to worry so much about the future, tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. It can represent inheritance. There is a connection to home and family with the Ten of Coins. Not really having to worry. It could be emotional stability, financial and material stability, a combination of all of those things. Next, we have the Two of Cups, the traditional soulmate card. Now, this could, so there's a karmic connection in a union here, or a really great union, or the opportunity for one. Now, that union, it might be about a romantic relationship, or it could be a kindred spirit best friend relationship, or it might be best friends that transition into something more romantic. It does represent kind of a karmic or soul level connection or union. With you, with the Queen of Swords, Aquarius, Gemini, Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus, or another air sign. The Queen of Swords is somebody who's her life hasn't always been easy. She has a wealth of experience from it, but she's also a bit sharpened by it too. This is somebody who doesn't tolerate fools very well, who sees things very clearly, very directly, and tends to communicate in the same way. It may be that somebody's looking in a very practical or realistic way at a relationship, perhaps a relationship that's had issues, or there's been issues in other areas of life that have affected that relationship, or some combination of that. It looks like there may be an opportunity for change or for healing within this, but I'm not sure, and that could definitely be for some of you, but for others of you, I'm also feeling like there's a sense of, is my investing in this or reinvesting in this again, or continuing to invest in this, is it realistic? It's kind of like there's an offer or opportunity presented, and we'll clarify, but it might just be more of the same as from history. Is it really real? There's a temptation to kind of believe in it, but also because of your nature, I really need to think realistically about this. From the bottom of the deck, the overall energy and focus for the last half of May is the World, the last major arcana card in the tarot. The first is the Fool. All the cards in between the Fool and the World represent one cycle of the tarot, which represents a chapter in our life, or a set of chapters in our life that's significant. Like you could say childhood is a chapter in our life, teenage years are a chapter in our life, 20, those kinds of things, or work and then retirement, or working one job and then moving up to something else. I mean, the World represents a completion of a significant time in your life, endings. You're not going to get anything else from it. A graduation and moving on. This can represent leveling up under that same umbrella, like a whole new level of something, or it can represent an ending of something where you go off and it's something completely new and completely different. So definitely change is indicated here, or at least that's the theme. So let's clarify the overall energy of the World. We have the Lovers, so the Lovers and the Two of Cups. It's either, for many of you, either significantly about the relationship itself, like do you go forward or do you not together, or it's a decision, a significant decision in another area of life that will significantly impact a primary relationship. The Lovers represents a choice that's going to affect a primary relationship, whether it's about that relationship or in another area of life that's going to significantly impact the relationship. We also have Death here, which is endings and transformations and rebirth. So there's a choice here. I'm going to pull one more, the Five of Cups. Loss, grief, regret, apologies. Not everything is lost, but you're looking at what has been lost or isn't there anymore, or maybe what you thought it was going to be and isn't. So it feels like kind of the theme, the focus is on, it feels to me, is on whether something hasn't turned out the way that you wanted it to. Either a relationship hasn't turned out the way you wanted it to, or it's turned out to be different than what you thought. And you're trying to decide if it's worth continuing to invest in, or if there's any possible positive change here, or should you just split up and go your separate ways. For some of you, it may be in another area of life that is turned out to be disappointing. It hasn't worked out. You're kind of trying to think, is this worth continuing because it's impacting my relationship, or it's impacting this relationship or marriage? What should we do? It could be like work, career, finance. It could be in moving or relocating. It could be like, it's just too tough in this place where we're at. We love this place or whatever, but it's too expensive, or our jobs aren't covering it. So maybe it's time to kind of pack up and relocate, even though that'll be difficult. And I don't want to say goodbye to this, and this, but in the long run, it may be better for us. Again, that's kind of the process, whether it's focused specifically on the relationship or in another area of life that impacts the relationship. It's about looking realistically at whether or not, if you continue to invest in something, is there really is it really going to change for the better? Or is it just going to be more of the same conflict and lack of abundance and fulfillment that you want? Is the opportunity for change real? Or is it just kind of illusionary? And if so, what do I do about that? That's kind of the whole thread I'm getting here. But let's clarify that Six of Swords, that card of healing, with that Knight of Cups. So there's an offer and opportunity for healing here. But the issue here is that the Knight of Cups, you know, knights are still in the middle of their evolutionary process. They begin as pages, who are the student, the apprentices, the runners. They're learning. They're just gathering information. They can't manifest anything with it yet because they're still learning, right? And then they kind of evolve into the knights, where they can take what they've learned and they can begin to go out and like do things with it and manifest things with it. You know, they're all about that single-minded quest, focus, you know, kind of going after things, but they're not known for their staying power, right? They haven't quite evolved to that king and queen where they've learned how to master everything that they've learned, right? They're still kind of evolving, spontaneous and impulsive. The Knight of Cups, the Knight of Water and of emotion, he's in love with love itself. He firmly believes everything he says in the moment that he says it, but the difficulty sometimes is in his or her being able to stay and to actually follow through in the long term. So, because I'm kind of getting a bit of that cautionary energy here. But let's take a look. Six of Swords. Page of Cups, Seven of Cups. Yeah, watery energy. Here's the Page of Cups, a little message, a little flirting, a little, hey, what about this? The Seven of Cups is a card of multiple options and opportunities and the possibility and potential, but it's not a very realistic energy. I mean, we all have to dream. We all have to, look at what the best and brightest of what might be possible. But then you have to pick one and do the actual work to manifest it and make it happen, right? The Seven of Cups here is kind of looking at what the best and brightest possibilities and potentials are, kind of like daydreaming, building castles in the sky, fantasizing, right? So again, there isn't anything wrong with it per se. Clarify the Knight of Cups. The Sun, light, love, warmth, laughter, vacations, pressures being uplifted and released. It feels a little here, Gemini, like someone is presenting somebody else with the opportunity to okay, well, there's been this difficulty or this trouble, whatever it is. It's going to vary in a general reading. Either about our relationship or in another area of life that's affecting our relationship. So it feels like somebody is saying, okay, but here, this will be better. This will take care of it. But the caution here that I'm feeling is it just running away and like having fun in this little bubble, but not really addressing the actual problem and finding a solution for the actual problem? Or is it just here, have this temporary illusionary, beautiful illusionary distraction from it, but then you still have to deal with it, like more of the same? That's kind of what I'm getting. And it feels like it's tempting, you know? But caution. Three of Wands, Ten of Coins. Feeling hopeful, positive, optimistic about the future, that maybe the long-term security and stability that you're needing, that you're craving, is really there, but nothing's being actually done. That's what makes me feel cautionary about this, is all these positive cards are like, here, but nothing's actually, there's no real solution here. It's just more of an escape than anything else. Three of Wands. Yeah, Seven of Pentacles. This is taking a look. It's taking inventory, taking stock, taking a look at what you have invested in something and asking yourself, have my efforts paid off? Am I okay with what I have? Can I grow it anymore? If not, am I okay with where it is? Can I find a way to be happy with that? Should I make changes? Is this enough? The Four of Swords, taking a temporary step back, feeling overwhelmed, tired, worn out, exhausted. Yeah. Clarify the Two of Cups. Four of Cups, an offer being made, somebody looking at it, not sure if they should take it or not. Considering. Strength, facing fears, doubts, insecurities. Looking at the situation in a realistic way, including your part in the situation. And the Ace of Swords, seeing the truth, the epiphany, the realization, clarity. Again, I think while for many of you there's a temptation to kind of bite into this, for some of you it's going to be real, but I'm feeling it so strongly. I think for more of you it's like what's being offered is not a real solution. It's more of an escape, a temporary reprieve or escape. And if you take it for what it is and not what it isn't, okay, I'm going to take a vacation, fine. But this is like, it almost feels like you're being offered an opportunity that just strings you along and doesn't really fix or solve whatever the real issues here are. And at the end of the day, as tempting as it is, you've got to really take a look at what this offer or opportunity is and see it for what it is and not for what it isn't, and not try to fool yourself into what it isn't. And that takes some strength. Clarify Queen of Swords. Yeah, the Moon and the Ten of Pentacles. The Ten of Pentacles again, which is the Ten of Coins, and the Moon. Deep-seated fears, a lack of clarity, of not knowing. I think whatever is at the heart of this, again, the specifics and details will vary because it's a general reading, but what feels like it's at the heart of this is long-term security and stability, emotional, financial, material, a combination of all of those within a relationship or in another area of life that affects the relationship. It feels like you've spent a long time investing time, effort, love, work, money, whatever into this in order to have at some point a sense of that you're building for something, and at a certain point you can take a look around and you don't have to worry about the future quite so much because you have this sense of long-term stability and security. But that's the issue here. You don't have that. You've put all this work into it and you don't have that. And the other side of this situation, or the other person, is like there's something about it that keeps tempting you to invest more, and I just need more time or whatever. But it's like spending all your efforts running in place. But then when you look up, you're still in the same place and you've spent all this effort, right? And so it's kind of looking at that realistically and asking yourself, okay, is this really real? Either something, and the overall theme here is that something needs to either transform utterly, realistically, or it needs to end so that you can move away from it, go through whatever healing you need to from having to detach from something, so then you can open yourself up to the potential of actually having true abundance. The tricky part, or the difficult part, of course, is when we make those decisions, it often represents having to detach from people, places, situations that we're attached to, that we have history with, and that can be painful, even though we know that ultimately it's in our own best interest. So it's that decision-making process that I'm seeing here. So let's end with some advice, guidance, feedback from Spirit, or what Spirit thinks you should focus on so that you can make the best decision possible. Because, of course, Spirit's not going to make the decision for you, but let's see what they think you should focus on in order to make the best decision possible. Because here, something either needs to transform both sides of it utterly, or it needs to end. Now, the other option, which you always have, free will, free agency, is to not do anything and remain, just keep the pattern the same. But whatever the issues and the challenge, this long-term stability and security fear thing, it isn't going to end. It's going to continue too. So Spirit is definitely saying here a change needs to happen. Either a moving on and apart, or a moving up and together. And only you can really decide if that's possible. But Spirit is really asking you here to draw on your own air power and be realistic, and not to fall for an illusion or an escape. Judgment, major life-changing decision, crossroads. Yeah. It will impact your life significantly and for quite a long time. Could be a game changer. If you choose to stay and keep things the same, that's probably the cycle you're going to be stuck in. The Page of Wands, starting off on a brand new journey all over again. learning at the beginning of a new path, the slate wiped clean, the Empress, the Four of Wands. This is really what you want, Gemini. This represents stability, security, abundance, not having to worry about where things are coming from or where they're going. This is being set and secure and abundant and nurtured and cherished and taken care of. The Ten of Wands, feeling like you're at the end of your rope. Tens represent ending, cycle completion. It's time to lay this burden down. So Spirit is just kind of underscoring here, not the decision, because that's going to be up to you, but what you need to focus on, which is that whatever this primary issue is, the stress and the worry about the future needs to end. So a decision has to be made in order to bring that to an end and open up the possibilities for you to have what you truly need and want, even if that requires detaching, which can be difficult. Either a complete transformation needs to happen, and if that's not possible, then you need to separate from what's causing the source of this so you can open up the possibility of having what you want, of having the abundance and the security and the love and the feeling cherished and abundance that you want as well. So Spirit is saying that's what you need to focus on. That's the path that you need to be on. So it's basically an either or thing here. Again, free will, free agency. You can choose not to do anything, but that's actually making a decision to keep the pattern, which looks not healthy, kind of going in the same way and finding yourself just kind of stuck in that while the years pass, right? So free will, free agency. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think we all kind of come to this crossroads at least once or twice in our life where we have to really take an honest, sometimes challenging or difficult look at something and ask ourselves, okay, what's the actual reality here? I've been doing all of this and telling myself, oh, it'll change, oh, it'll get better, oh, they'll do this, or oh, if I just. And having to come to a point where you're like, look, it's either this or this, because it can't stay the same. I'm not happy with this. So, I mean, we've all been through that at least once in our life, if not multiple times. So that's kind of it. And I think it's going to require some straight up, very clear and very open and honest conversation, even if that conversation is difficult or challenging, in order to know exactly where it stands so that you can make the best decision possible for you. And I'm just going to leave it there, Gemini. Those are your messages for the last half of May. I hope you found them relevant, useful, helpful. If you did, if that resonated with you and you'd like to reach out and take a deeper look or get some information about personal reading for yourself or as a gift for someone else, please email me directly at maggie1mcguire@gmail.com. I would be delighted to hear from you and to work with you. You can also get that contact info by clicking the description link or the title of this video. I will see you all in a couple of weeks for the June general readings. Until then, stay well and safe, and I hope to see you back here again soon. Bye-bye.